Good morning and
Morning.
welcome to the Magnusson Matchup Series. I'm
Thank
Heather
you.
Zeiss, Marketing Director of the Magnusson Group, and I'm pleased to introduce our viewers and our listeners to Lauren Magnusson, VP of Business Development at the Magnusson Group, and Kori Young, owner of Heritage Home Furnishings. Today, we're going to learn how a personal property consulting firm and a purveyor of fine home furnishings can work together. Hello, Lauren, and hello, Kori. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Heather. Hi, Kori.
Hello.
So glad. Looks like both of you have very interesting backdrops. I'm eager to hear more. So why don't we jump right in? And Kori, why don't you tell me how you met Lauren?
I believe we were formally introduced at the first estate sale that happened during the pandemic. I believe it was in Morristown at this big, beautiful home with just tons and tons of antiques. And I think people were kind of afraid to go out. And I was one of those brave souls that, went out in the early COVID days. So I was able to chat with Lauren at length and, we got to know each other a little bit there. But actually, my first experience was estate sales probably 6 months or so before that. And I just kept coming back because I just love the way that Magnusson handles all of their sales. They're so organized and so professionally managed. It's really a pleasure to shop those sales, in addition to having all of the inventory curated for me. So in my business, it takes a lot of the work out of it for me because I don't really enjoy going to estate sales that are like, digger's delights where you have to go through a bunch of stuff to get what you really want. So Magnusson does a terrific job at just displaying everything and organizing it, and also really pulling out just the best stuff.
Thank you, Kori. We love compliments and we hope you'll review us on Google reviews.
Of course.
Sounds great. And
you.
we do pride ourselves on staging and setting up and white glove service and the whole 9 yards. So we really do appreciate that. And it's a pleasure to hear that we, make your job easier as well.
Absolutely.
Yes. On that note, Lauren, your family has been in the estate sale and consignment business for years. Would you mind telling me how a property consulting firm and a furnishings dealer might work together?
Yeah, so, hi, Kori. Thank you so much for your kind words. Getting to know the regular faces you see week in and week out is extremely important. Working with decorators and curators of home furnishings opens your market extensively as a personal property appraiser and liquidator or seller to customers who are more accustomed to shopping retail or relying on design experts to curate their space for them, like Kori does. Not everyone has that design eye. And it's important to remember that there are lots of other professionals in this personal property world that you need to work with and foster relationships with to be able to call allied professionals to make huge successes, not only for your clients, but also for your network. Reaching out to and maintaining connections with specific dealers when certain products becomes available is important. This business, like so many others, it's all about connections.
It really is, and we love having the 411 on both sides of the coin. So it's great to know that there's lots of synergies happening there. Kori, please tell us about Heritage Homes Furnishings and what drew you to the furnishings industry.
Heritage Home is basically a small web-based decor business, and I offer anything from imported Italian tassels to hand-made needlepoint pillows to antique china and other porcelains. So I really focus on unique and beautiful items that are either vintage or antique and small enough to ship.
That's great. And I know that at the Magnusson Group, we definitely appreciate what we call smalls, being able, especially now that we're doing auctions, to have more accessibility and be able to, have those items more available to clients that are not local. So it is a very important detail to be aware of. And I know that's something that we value as well. On that note, Lauren, why don't you tell me what types of furnishings and accessories you look for when assembling an estate sale or an auction?
Yeah, I feel like my answer is going to be really similar to Kori's here. It's important to have a mix of all kinds of things. Like she said, carrying different product draws different people. I learned something really early on when my mother started collecting broken green pottery when I was a child, that not everybody loves the things, and everyone has their own style or preference in mixing styles. I'd say overall, eclectic styles and items make a good sale because it attracts lots of different types of buyers. Our staff is pretty well trained and insightful in being able to recognize and pair customers that are coming for jewelry, for example, and noticing that they like Art Deco style jewelry, and then showing them a painting that's Art Deco style that they may not have even seen in the listing, and being able to pair things together. Carol is wonderful with the clothing and the boutique that she puts together. And, having people like Kori who have their own design eye and their own customers, and then like staff of the Magnusson to be able to recognize people like Kori when they come in and say, oh, I know what you like. I know what you're going to buy. And having that sort of personal touch certainly helps.
It sure does. And this gets us to the most exciting part of the interview, is Kori's showroom. And I see all these beautiful objects behind you. And I want to ask you if you wouldn't mind showing us some of these beautiful pieces and explaining a little bit about what you look for when you collect. And also, perhaps maybe some places that you like to shop for these unique finds that you've described.
Sure. Okay. So basically, I am looking for things that I would want in my own home. I don't know if you can tell by looking around, but my house is mainly French provincial. And in that design style, you get kind of a mixture of a rustic yet refined and somewhat ornate decor. And also, if you look at magazines and publications, you'll notice that a lot of chinoiserie is also thrown in there. So those are kind of the things that I look for. The Grand Millennial style is very big right now, and they also share some of those same things. So Grand Millennials love traditional style. They love gold or brass. They love chinoiserie, and it's all stems from the traditional style decor. So a lot of the stuff that I offer is of that type. And so I recently acquired these Famille Rose jars and vases. And those are very popular right now in the chinoiserie style, and as well as the tobacco leaf. So these are some of the jars, and also I mentioned the tassels. I do look for tassels, believe it or not, are so popular because they can really elevate a look of a lamp, a door, a doorknob. You could put it on a vase, really anywhere. So there's things that I carry. Down here, you'll see this tobacco leaf terrine. I love terrines because you can really do lots with them aside from putting food in them. You can put flowers in them. You can display them with other things in the same design style. And I really love them for flowers. A lot of the things that I carry because you can put flowers in them. And I love things that have a purpose. And so most of the things I carry. I do have my fair share of figurines. And so I know that they really only have one purpose, but they are a true favorite, like these Staffordshire dogs. Those are very, very popular. Needlepoint pillows are also very popular. I happened to get that at the last Magnusson sale, so that'll be going on my website soon. As well as brass. I mentioned gold. So I found these at the last Magnusson sale. And the main reason why I love brass and silver in general is because they really transform once you get them home and you clean them up. These had like a patina on them, which some people really love. But just look at them. They're so shiny and gold, they're beautiful. So this box here is very, I would say, pretty rare. You don't see them usually this size. You usually see them more in this size. So when I saw it at the Magnusson sale, I was really, it's funny, I get so excited about these things, but I was really excited to see that. So I also carry artwork. I don't know. These are Trowbridge frames. I'm sure you know about Trowbridge, but they're a very high-end framer. They frame beautiful gallery prints and that sort of thing. And their frames are handcrafted. So when I saw them, I definitely wanted them for my shop. But again, these are all things that I really look for on a regular basis. Where I collect, the way I know you guys is through going to estate sales and auctions. But I also, of course, I love antique shops. So whenever I'm picking up auction items, usually I'm stopping in at local antique stores. Some of my favorite places are Connecticut. And in Connecticut, I will stop in at the Stratford Antique Center, which is in Stratford, just beyond Bridgeport. And also, when I'm in Greenwich, I stop at the Greenwich Hospital Auxiliary thrift store. And that place is really great because you have a lot of beautiful homes in the area, and those people, when they're changing over their stuff, they have to bring it somewhere. So that thrift store gets a lot of it. I do go to the Elephant's Trunk Flea Market when they're open in the warm weather. They're in New Milford, and that's where Flea Market Flip actually is often televised. They really do have a tremendous turnout of vendors who carry all sorts of things from salvage to china, sculptures, farm items, you name it, anything goes there. So I love going to places like that. And there's also another flea market, the Golden Nugget. That place is really great too. And I think they're open year round. So those are some of the fun places that I like to stop at and try to find those unique items, because that's my goal. I want to be unique. I want to have something that is going to stand the test of time. And usually I look for things that are heirloom quality.
That was so informative. And I loved hearing about the afterlife of so many of the objects. And I love that so many pieces that you are showing us also came from Magnusson, some of our past estate sales. And it's exciting to learn about trends and see the many repurposes for a tureen, for example. It's reminding me of when I was in New Mexico and I went to the turquoise museum and it was filled with turquoise instead of food. So there's just limitless possibilities as to what can be done with the beautiful objects that we come across, and, hearing about the frames and what's popular, with the Grand Millennial and the brass and the gold. So that's an incredible education and fun stories for us to listen to. Lauren, I'm sure you have favorites, and I'm sure it's tough to determine which one, but what are just a few highlights that you see from this collection here?
So, I went through Kori's shop, and I think since I picked some of my favorites, a few of them have sold, which is great. Congratulations. Specifically that vintage tortoise shell ice bucket, which the mid-century modern child and me absolutely loved. I love the Staffordshire dogs that you have. You have quite a few of them, the pairs, but my favorite, I think, is the zebra, because, as you can tell, I think that it, blends such great traditional style and with just enough of an edge that it can fit into, the more modern trends and grand millennial style that we're even seeing right now with the blending of trends. You also have an antique carved oak and silver plate biscuit jar for sale right now, which I think is beautiful and it would look really good on the bar in my farm. And then I think my last favorite pick would be the white asparagus majolica plate that you have, because I am an absolute sucker for white asparagus. So good finds. I encourage
Thank you.
everyone to go and check out Kori's shop and find their favorites as well.
Excellent. So as a final question to you, Kori, and you did start to touch on, what sets you apart from the rest. What would you like our Magnusson customers and clients to know about you? And, what does actually set you apart, in addition to, you mentioned something about having value and heirloom quality and, pieces being separate from what one might find in home goods. Would you mind just talking a little bit about that before we go?
Sure. So I think the main thing that I want people to know is that I provide a service. I'm able to help anybody find that special piece. Lauren had mentioned earlier, you want to be personal and offer a personal assistance. And I have always told people that I want it to be an experience. My goal is really to offer exceptional decor with exceptional service. So that's the main thing that I want people to know about me.
Thank you, Lauren, and thank you, Kori, for your time today. And to our listeners and viewers, we hope that you found this conversation both interesting and helpful. And we're grateful for the opportunity to connect with Kori and Lauren today, and look forward to sharing this interview with our clients and customers online through our social media channels like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And we'll be making this video also available on our website once it's edited. So please check back soon for the link on our news page. Thank you very much, and stay tuned. And thank you for watching, and to all, a happy day.